How's it going, guys? Um, so today I was gonna explain to you my Copart vehicle buying experience. This is the first time I've ever done this, and it pretty much happened uh, within a few hours of me deciding I might want to do this too. So it was like a spur of the moment thing. Not very smart, but it happened. So um, I was looking for a bike because I was scared this season that I wouldn't have a bike. I recently had another bike that I picked up last year, put 8,000 miles on it, and recently sold it. That was a Aprilia Mille. I got it from my buddy. I'll show you a couple pictures here. Um, the bike was pretty much looked like it was salvage also. So got that, put it back together, rode around, and it was getting pretty old and a little sketchy, and parts were hard to find. So I decided I was gonna sell it, and then I had the money, and I was looking around for a good deal. I'm a decent mechanic myself, so I figured I could put a bike back together if I need be. So I was looking around, and I found this bike, 2008 Honda CBR 1000. I got to look it through the pictures, and it looks really good. I mean, if you could see beauty through all whatever's broken. Um, so I was looking around at it. It looks like the fairings were broken, um, and then there's a dent in the radiator and scratches on the clutch case. So I was like, well, it looks freaking clean. Besides that, looks like a brand new tire on the rear. It's got a Yoshimura exhaust. Um, the handlebars don't even look touched. It looks like it totally missed whatever he hit or she hit. Missed the shock tower, triple tree, and so I was like, you know what? This looks like a good deal. I think at the first start, the pre-bid was around $600. So then a couple hours later, the real auction started to happen. So what happens is you find the vehicle you like. You could put it on your watch list or whatever. I got a few here, and you can go back into it, and it'll tell you somewhere over on this side when the auction's gonna start. So, like, I'll give you an example real quick. Right here, um, it'll tell you when the sale date or the auction's gonna come up. So this one says future. It doesn't have an actual sale date that it's gonna come up yet. Um, so it was that day. It was a couple hours later, and I joined the auction. And well, let me back up just a little bit. In California, you can't bid on a vehicle without having licenses. And the way I found that out is I came over to here, and since this bike is in California, I came over here and I was reading through here, and it says you need, or if you don't have the licenses, you have to go get a broker. So then you click that, you can click find a broker, and I went with these guys here. These guys were amazing. Um, so getting back to the auction, I placed my bids. I won the bid. I won the bike. Um, I wasn't necessarily ready to win the bike or thought I was going to, but I did. So um, won the bike. They sent me an email saying I won the bike, and they sent me an email of the bill of sale. So I had to sign that. Um, and then they also sent me a way to send them the money for the bike. And for you to pick up the bike, you have to give them the money. Otherwise, if you don't give them the money or anything like that, what they'll do is they're gonna take that bike that you won, that they bought, and they're gonna sell it again back on auction. Plus, they're gonna take your security deposit fee, and I think they tack on a couple other fees if you don't give them the money for the vehicle that you won. So, um, gave them the money, and it's like emailing back and forth, like within minutes, within hours, I get an email back from them, which is pretty crazy because I'm pretty sure they have a shit ton of other people that they're dealing with. So it was awesome. These guys are amazing. I give them freaking 12 stars out of 10. Um, so I would definitely use these guys if you need a broker to buy a vehicle. Uh, so after I sent them the money, I took 2 days off work. I live in Colorado. I headed down to California, got to Copart, showed them the release form that Salvage Reseller sent me over email. They give me the keys for the bike. I walk over to where they bring out the vehicles, give them the paper. They bring out my bike, hook it all up to the trailer, and start to head back home. This trip sucked. I did it in 2 days. I went down there, down to Hollywood and back to Colorado Springs in 2 days. I only slept for like 4 hours that entire trip. It was terrible. Not a good idea. Wasn't ready for this, but it happened. So, get the bike back. As you can see, the Speedo isn't attached to the bike, and I was reading that for the bike to run, which they didn't say it did run, it was just an enhanced vehicle, so I was taking a gamble on that. Like, it'll say, I think this engine start program. That means the engine did start. You can go over here, click the little FAQ, and read it on what each one means. So mine didn't say run or start or nothing, so it was a big gamble. I didn't know if it did. The engine could have had a bunch of shit messed up with it or whatever. A whole bunch of shit could have gone wrong, but this was a really smooth ordeal. I got it back home. I plugged in the Speedo, which also noted that they didn't know how many miles were on this bike. So I was also taking a chance with how many miles were on this bike. Plugged in the Speedo when I got home. 11,000 miles on the bike. Turned the key. Fired right up. Idled. It was amazing. I got a great deal on this bike. I would recommend, if you're looking for a good deal, to go through Copart. But one thing I didn't do that you can do is hire an inspector. But because it was the day that I found this, that the auction was also happening, I bid out of hope, which also is not smart to do. They even tell you, please get an inspector. I think inspectors are like $100. It is, if it's a shit vehicle, it's a wasted $100, but it's definitely better than wasting 2,500 or 5,000 or whatever you bid for the vehicle. So I recommend doing that. But I got it home, started right up, ran around the block. I still am happy. Got an amazing deal on this bike. I'd recommend doing Copart if you're looking for a good deal. Hopefully this season coming up, I'm going to have some new content, some good rides. So please subscribe, hang out with me, and let me know what you guys want to see. Thank you.